Hi Leo, welcome to your May 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large, over the course of May, you have... the Nine of Cups. All right, so I like this because obviously this is wish fulfillment. Yeah, absolutely, but it's more than that. I actually feel like in a lot of ways this is you taking your luck into your own hands. So this is one of those moments where, so over the course of the month of May, my dear Leos, you know, like lots of people ask, like, well, if money wasn't an object, or if, you know, connections wasn't a thing, like if you could do what you wanted to do just because that was what you wanted to do, what would you do? What would be the first thing that you did to take a step on that path? This is kind of like, yeah, like almost like the universe is saying to you, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you move ahead with now? What would you do right now if you knew that it was guaranteed to succeed? This is one of those months where I feel like you're going to have that energy, and it's like, you know, in a lot of ways, this is you stepping forward in faith, right? And this is faith in yourself, but also faith that whatever happens, you are going to be able to handle it. And then on top of that, this suggests that something that you have wanted, waited for, hoped for, manifested your tushy off, you know, like something that you've worked really hard on getting sorted or getting together is now starting to become really prominent, or really take shape or take hold in some way. I really feel like this could be where you see a tangible result in some regard, which is really nice. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Swords. So it's not going to be without its challenges, right? There was always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people that are, you know, that say they're in your corner, but yeah, you know, you're not really convinced. And yeah, there's a few of those for all of us, I can assure you. The fact that the fact that you've got no rants, Raph. The fact that you've got this Page of Swords here, I actually feel like this is you really allowing yourself to be challenged, but not letting that stop you. The other thing, when it comes to your communications as a whole, this could be a month where there is likely to be some sort of mental jousting that is needing to take place. So I'm going to say this to you, my dear Leos, being nimble of mind is going to be the most important skill that you can cultivate, look after, brush up on. This is the ability to think quickly on your feet is going to need to be a part of your path. Now, you tend to be quick-witted anyway, very diplomatic. You've got a Libra in third house after all, but this month, you are going to have to be not only quick-witted, you're going to have to be quick-minded, nimble-minded, all right? So just watch out for that. This could also, for some of you, spell an invite or the start of a new, I don't want to say project because it feels like a new endeavor. And this is like something that you've wanted or waited for a long time now suddenly becomes possible. And you see this and it's like, you know what? I know that having that faith to walk this path was the right thing for me. Excuse me. For your love and relations, you've got the Six of Swords. So you've got this next to the Page of Swords. For some of you, I'm just going to call it like I see it. This is you and a partner taking a break. If you've been in a relationship that has had challenges and or issues, some of you could literally be going to stay with a parent, going to stay with a sibling. It's like you're really clear on the fact that you need some space right now from that significant other. Something here is not necessarily as it should be. You've got this with that Nine of Cups there as well, which almost suggests to me that you're having to heal from something as well, because remember the Nine of Cups is a healing card. So, you know, for some of you, this could be that you and your partner are taking time out. For some of you, it could just be that the partner is literally traveling, but you've got this Page of Swords, which almost says to me, there's a specific reason behind this. It's not just a case of like, oh, you know, we're going to have some time out, like, you know, because we're going on vacation, but you know, my partner can't make it. It's not that. There's a very, very specific reason behind this, and it feels like a timeout. For those of you that are single, I'm going to say this right. In fact, for those of you that are single and partner, like if you're partnered in a solid relationship, this could be some sort of spontaneous travel that comes up for you. For those of you that are single, it could be that this month you decide to maybe hop on a plane, a coach, a train. It's like, you know what? I'm going to make that bucket list trip that I've always wanted to take. It's like you're just sort of deciding at the drop of a hat, like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go and visit this place, this space, this person, this whatever. Nice. When it comes to your money and materials, you've got the Queen of Swords. So this is a lot of air, very much up in the mindscape. And that Queen of Swords, this could be a challenge, a problem, or an issue that arises in the job or the workplace, and so therefore has an adverse effect on your finances. This is also a month where if there is anything that you have to buy or pay for, I would be very conscious of that. And I would also say to you, this is a month to really be very clear on what you're spending and why. So, you know, if you feel like you're being overcharged for something, if you don't feel like the service is worth what you're paying for it, this is the month for you to speak up. Next to that Six of Swords as well, this could be a financial challenge or burden that you and your partner have been dealing with that finally goes away. But it is going to require, again, a hard talk of some kind. Your first week of the month, you have the Emperor card right underneath the Nine of Cups. I really feel like it's a month of a mixed bag, because right here at the beginning, that's something happening for your career that is truly wonderful. That's going to be like really marvelous. And it could also see you becoming an authority in your field, or maybe gaining more responsibility, or like your opinions on certain things start to gain more weight. Which is great, right? You couldn't ask for much more than that. With the second week of the month, you've got the Tower card with the Page of Swords. That is a bust up if ever I've seen one. Just watch out for this, my dear Leos, because this month you may have to deal with something. You might have to have a challenging conversation that there's no getting around it. And if you want that healing balm, then you're going to have to kind of, you know, have that, you know, that tough combo. For your third week of the month, you've got the Hierophant card. So the Hierophant is a card that literally, when it comes to relationships, represents marriage, true partnership in terms of, you know, all of the whole shebang when we talk about marriage. And so what you're really being asked to look at here is, you know, if you need a break from your relationship, is it the right relationship for you? For some of you that have been, you know, maybe you've come through your challenges and you're on the other side of it now. This may be a moment at which you're being asked to really think about the conditions that fed into, you know, into the challenges that you've had. You've got this right next to the Tower, right next to the Emperor. And these two, when they're together, they can represent potential legal situations, places and people. You've got this Queen of Swords here when it comes to your finances and money. I'm going to say this to you, Leo, this is not a month for rash decisions, all right? Do what you can. Obviously, make sure that you're safe and all the rest of it, but do what you can about sticking where you are until you're in a space to really make the decisions that you feel you need to at the moment. This could be quite an intense month for Leos, I'm really sorry to say. And, you know, I'm a Leo ascendant, so I'm kind of like, okay, yay. But yeah, just something to consider. And then for your fourth week of the month, you've got the Magician card. So your Queen of Swords could be, doesn't have to be, but could be a Gemini, or, you know, potentially could also be a Virgo as well, really. That being said, the long term of your finances, because you've got this Magician card here, is very, very good. You're just having to get through this specific month, which looks like it could be a bit of a challenge. So your Eclipses, On the 16th of May, we have the lunar eclipse, full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, which is in your 4th house. This is all to do with your home, family, property, real estate, as they say, the people that you live with in your home, but also the heritage that you come from. An eclipse in this space, I'm really sorry to say, this could bring, I touch wood and I really hope that I'm wrong, it's an eclipse, which is already a malefic experience. It's an eclipse in the 4th house, and it also is in the sign of Scorpio. This could literally be the death of a loved one, and I really hope that I'm wrong on that front. That is the most extreme case of how this could show up. Outside of that, it could just be a lot of intensity. It could also spell the end of a relationship, you know, especially because this is squaring Saturn, which, if you haven't seen the Libra full moon video that I put out, watch it and it will give you an understanding of where I might be getting that conclusion from. But very, very interesting. Your message for that is the gate 18 and perfection. So what you're being invited to do around this full moon eclipse is to look at where maybe you are expecting and demanding too much, maybe of others and yourself. And remember that perfection doesn't exist. It's a myth. You know, it's not real. When it comes to the 30th of May, we have the new moon in the sign of Gemini. And for you, this is your 11th house, which is the gains that you get from your business, your public persona, your outwardly status, right? So if the 10th house is your career, the 11th house is the gains that you get from that. This could also be a time where your higher goals and aspirations come up for review and you think, actually, you know what? I used to want to do this or to be this, but actually I feel like it's shifting now. So this could be a time at which a goal that you've held for a long time comes into a shift point. And, you know, taking your destiny in your own hands really feels like the way forward. And for this, you've got the gate 46 and serendipity, which suggests a synchronicity around this new moon is showing up for you, or you're discovering the right thing at the right time or the right person in the right moment for what you need at that space. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month as best as you possibly can. Be as cool, calm and collected as you can, Leo. All right, with that said, take care and I'll see you soon.